Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dia and I am a photographer and content creator. I normally create videos about planners, organization, and productivity, but today I'm gonna do a what I eat in a day kind of vlog thing. I know I like to get ideas from other people to see what they eat, to stay healthy, to have variety in their food, and just find inspiration from watching what they eat and do on a day-to-day basis. So I thought I'd go ahead and share mine with you this week too. A little bit of backstory. My daughter has been away for a year and a half at college and she just recently moved back home. And when she was gone, she was always complaining about her stomach hurting. She always felt like throwing up after eating, especially in the mornings. She just was not doing well gut health wise. And when she moved back home, she said she wanted to eat healthier and everything. So I normally eat very basic meals. I'll have like a piece of chicken, rice, and some broccoli, and that's about it. I think it is something back from when I had my son. I literally could not eat for 9 months when I had my son. I was on an IV. I was pretty much starving. But the second that I gave birth to my son, I got my appetite back again and I kept my first meal down throughout my entire pregnancy. It was hospital food and it was really bland and it was spaghetti and it was the best meal I ever had. And I don't know if that's why I don't mind bland food. I actually look forward to bland food, and I don't mean bland like no flavoring, just good, wholesome, clean food. Anyway, when she moved back here for the first week, she kind of ate some of my meals, which were pretty much just rice and chicken and broccoli, like I said. And she said that they were boring and she was just gonna kind of do her own thing. So for the next week, I think she bought chicken dinos and some like those little to-go things of mac and cheese, the little containers, because it was easy to take to work with her. So she had that for a week and she felt sick again. And she got to the point where she was like, okay, whatever.
I will eat your bland food. I just don't want to feel this way anymore.
So here we are a couple of weeks later. It's been about 3 weeks now, and we've been meal planning together and cooking our meals together. I do most of the cooking, but she does help a little. And we've been trying to play with different menus and see what works for us, what's easy to take to work, and just, you know, trying to find a meal plan that works for us. And we outdid ourselves this week. This week's lunch, breakfast, and dinner were so good. And it's actually only Wednesday and we didn't plan very well. I didn't realize I was almost out of salmon. So we ran out of our lunch and our dinner today, Wednesday. So I thought I would hurry up and show it to you guys before I eat the last one. Normally I only meal prep for 3 to 4 days anyways, because it never fails. Something always comes up and takes us out of the house, or for some reason we don't eat the food and then it ends up going bad. So I try not to meal prep more than 3 to 4 days anyway. I get up at 4 in the morning, so I already the first thing I do in the morning is have my coffee, and I wish I could drink my coffee black. I actually did drink my coffee black for a while back when I was doing keto, but I like creamer in my coffee, and my coffee makes me happy in the morning, and it's a comfort thing and it feels good. So I had to try and find a creamer that didn't upset my stomach, and I noticed that just all liquid creamers, all of them, even oat milk, pretty much upset my stomach. I think it has more to do with whatever sugars and stuff are maybe in there. I don't know. I am not a nutritionist. So I stopped drinking that and I buy the plain Coffee Mate powdered creamer, which I'm sure isn't anything that's really good for you either, but it doesn't upset my stomach. And I really love having my cup of coffee in the morning, so that's what I use. And that was another thing. My daughter, even when she started eating the meal plan that we started doing together, she was still drinking coffee and creamer first thing in the morning. And every morning I would hear her like almost gagging before she went to work because her stomach was so upset and she felt like throwing up. And I told her, I think it's the creamer. And she was like, okay, well, let me finish this creamer first because I bought it. And sure enough, like 2 weeks later, I asked her, so how's your stomach doing? And she just kind of looked surprised and was like,
I haven't felt sick in the longest time.
the one time she felt sick within the last few weeks is when she went out to dinner with some of her coworkers. Pretty much meal prep for us is trying to stick to healthy stuff, making sure we get our vegetables in there. Not really low carb, but we try to reduce the carbs to carbs that aren't as processed and that are more natural. And this week, our menu was Egg McMuffin, and lunch is quinoa bites with a chocolate chip muffin. And the reason we had the chocolate chip muffin with our lunch is because we didn't think that went through all the way, and we didn't have a side for our quinoa bites, which was a whole nother kind of ordeal. We need to be better at preparing our meals next time. And for lunch, we have salmon, potatoes, and broccoli. So it is now 8:30 and I get up at 4, I go to the gym, but I am starving. I usually try to not eat until 8:30 in the morning. I'll drink water to keep myself full, but it is 8:30 now and I am so hungry. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my breakfast and how I reheat it. And Egg McMuffin might not sound very healthy, but our version is pretty healthy. We used English muffins, 1 egg, and we cooked it all up in my daughter's little pancake maker. And I'm telling you, these things are only like $12 on Amazon, and they are the perfect size for your Egg McMuffin. The sausage patty is actually a recipe that I found years ago, and I think it's from A Taste of Home, but it's not really sausage. It's called turkey sausage, but what it really is ground turkey, onion salt, garlic salt, some pepper, and the secret ingredient is rubbed sage. So rubbed sage, which is like $8 right now for a little thing. I don't remember it being that much before, but rubbed sage is what makes it taste like a sausage. And my daughter was a little bit doubtful about this, but once she tried it, she was like, oh my gosh, that really tasted like a sausage. And we don't have all the digestion complications that come with eating sausage, because sausage usually kind of upsets my stomach a little. So then we got some spinach, and I decided to grill up some onions and then throw the spinach and mix that together. Next time I would for sure get a bigger bag of spinach because we barely had any per sandwich, but the grilled onions made this breakfast sandwich. Basically, it's just an English muffin, a homemade turkey sausage, and because my daughter got me hooked on it, we like to put ketchup on it. I know, sounds gross, but my daughter has me addicted to ketchup right now, and I know there's a lot of sugar and all that in it, but just a tablespoon of ketchup makes it taste that much better. I'm gonna go ahead and heat mine up really quick, and then I'll show it to you guys before I dig in because I am hungry. I have my jug here that I got from Amazon. When I did 75 hard, I purchased a 1-gallon one of these. This is 64 ounces. I found that the gallon one was just too big to carry around with me throughout the day and having it on the table and everything, but I love this one. It is still rather large, but it's so much easier to carry around and it's not as heavy. I make sure I get 64 ounces of water every day. And this is the sandwich. Let me show you up close. This one's upside down. So I think my daughter might have made this one, but there is the little sausage patty. You can kind of see some of the spinach in there, and then the egg is at the bottom. So I'm gonna dig into this, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little bit about my lunch right now because I'm gonna go ahead and go to the mall for lunch today. I work from home, and yesterday I was editing a branding photo session that I had did, and my husband left and came back about 4 hours later, and he goes, "Have you been in that same spot this entire time?" I was like, no. But basically, yes. I sat in that little corner right there, which is my new office. I sat there for 4 hours straight editing and getting some life admin things done. So I told my daughter that today I would go ahead and meet her at the mall for lunch. She works at Aloe. I think as a way to make sure I come meet her for lunch, she took my lunch with her. So I can't show it to you yet. I'll show you some B-roll of when I go to see her. I like to get out and get some fresh air. It is beautiful out today. It's supposed to be 70. So I figured it would be perfect to go do a little bit of work at the mall. I love our outdoor mall near us. It's gorgeous. And I'm gonna do some work and then have lunch with my daughter. For lunch, we have quinoa bites, and I will try to link this recipe down below too. I normally make them a lot smaller than this. I haven't made them in so many years that I forgot how to make them, and I forgot that you need a mini muffin pan. I only have regular muffin pans, so you basically just mix up all the ingredients and then you throw it into a mini muffin pan and then it bakes into like little bites. But I only had large ones. We each are eating 2 large ones. The only thing different that I did with this recipe is I don't use goat cheese. The original one says to use goat cheese, and I do not like goat cheese. I love cheese, but goat cheese is one of those cheeses I just don't like. So I put feta cheese in it instead, and it still comes out perfectly fine. And the dipping sauce, I normally don't make the dipping sauce, but my daughter wanted to. It's like a Greek yogurt, blue cheese kind of dipping sauce, and it was so good. So I don't think I will skip on that the next time I make these. Okay, I'm back. It is 12:19 right now. I ended up having an early lunch with my daughter. Her lunch break was at 11, and I was gonna stay and work there for a little while because it is such a beautiful day. I went ahead and stopped by the Capital One Cafe. We have a Capital One Cafe at our mall, which is totally awesome because they have, I think it's Pete's Coffee in there, and they have an area where you can work and it's really quiet and nice. But because it was so gorgeous outside, I went and found myself a little spot, and it was out front of Under Armour. Is that what it's called? Under Armour, the workout clothing store, and their alarm was going off like every minute. And I opened up my computer and finished up a couple of things that I was working on, and then I left because it was driving me nuts. And I wanted to have a cup of coffee. In case you're wondering what I drink, I love Nespresso. I used to be a huge Keurig girl, but when we got the Nespresso machine that does coffee and Nespresso, because my husband drinks Nespresso, I dove in and I love their coffee, but actually don't love their coffee. They have a couple of coffees that I like. I don't care for flavors. I like something that's a little light, smooth, nutty, and none of the coffee flavors were really doing it for me. My husband usually makes himself an Americano, which is just a shot with water added to it. But as I said earlier, I need my creamer. So what I do is I put the espresso pod that I will show you guys here, and I'll put the name of it too because I can't remember what the name of it is right now. But this is my favorite Nespresso pod, and it's an espresso. And I pop it in and I run it through once, and then I leave it in and I hit it again so it runs through it again. And then I top it off with water and my powdery little coffee maker. Oh, and I add 1 Splenda too. I'm gonna have this right now because I needed a little pick-me-up. My husband's gonna be home soon. I'm gonna get some editing done, and I can't wait for dinner tonight because it's so good, and I'm sad that it's the last meal prep of the salmon that I have, but I definitely will cook this next meal again. Lunch was great. Gonna have my coffee now, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so I'm back with dinner, but I didn't record it in the moment. I apologize. I'm still getting used to vlogging in front of my family, but this is what we had. We just had some red potatoes that we boiled until they were tender, and then we smashed them down, seasoned them with oil, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and then baked them in the oven. I also steamed some broccoli, which I accidentally over-steamed, but it was still delicious. And then for the salmon, I just seasoned it with paprika, again, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt and pepper, and then we air fried it, which was really quick and easy to do. And then we just put them in these glass containers so that we can heat them up and enjoy them later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe found some inspiration to do some meal planning for yourself. And if you did like it, it'd be awesome if you can give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.